Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday to you. All right, let's get everything started. As you guys know, my regulars, it takes me a minute to set up everything. So just hold on. And let's get it all set up. And Patty LaBelle 07, you are number 1. Thanks for joining me. All right, if you're there now, the Zoom link is there in case you want to join. And I'm also going to put a Discord link. So, all right. The Discord link is there. The Zoom link is there. I got a couple more things to do and then I can officially get started. And let me change my glasses today. Should I wear these? I can still see these. Maybe I should wear these. Those are my glasses for Halloween. And, okay, that is done. Let me save that. And if you're there, hello, hello, hello. As I always say, it takes me a minute or two to set everything up. And I do it once it's live. So I've got that. And I think I have one more thing to do. And then I'll be ready. Let's see, how many people are there? So I wasn't even seeing who is there, who's not there. Okay, says live, says 40 people are there. All right, great. Just a minute ago, it was only 1. And I'm going to put this on the JeffMara podcast Facebook page. Create post. And okay. All right, I think I'm finally all set up. I think I am all set up. And I think I'm going to get a new monitor too. Because I look at you here, and if I get a second one up there, and I use a different computer, by the way, from my live streaming, from my editing. But if I get one up there, then I can kind of look up and see the chat when it's like I don't have anybody right now. I have to look over here, and I don't like looking away. I'd rather kind of still be there and just kind of glance up. I think that would be much better. Uh-oh. Something fell down. There we go. All right. So, nobody's up yet. And, you know, you don't have... Well, first thing I would say is I have such an amazing audience. So if you're on the fence about coming and sharing, you shouldn't worry, because this is such a great audience here that everybody would probably be happy to have you share. No one's a professional public speaker here, not even me. So you know, I think it's pretty relaxed, just to make you think about that. Let's see who is here in the chat. And by the way, I think someone may have mentioned Discord. So the Discord is in the description. The Zoom link is in the description. While I'm waiting, hello, Becky. Mara is not my last name, Linda. Mara is my wife's name. That's a good question. And actually, Mara is not here. She'll be running along soon. So unfortunately, I won't be able to answer your questions on the chat. I mean, physically. Let's see. Tomorrow I have a good NDE. A woman, I believe, fell and hit her head and had the NDE. And I have some good ones coming in. I don't know if I let you know or not. And if I haven't, I have Dr. Alexander scheduled to come back in December along with his partner Karen, and we're going to talk about their meditation stuff called Sacred Acoustics. So that should be pretty cool. And I have a guy, and I've got to put this out. I got to get you the date on that. But there's a guy, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. It's a mother and son, and the son is going to be channeling live with me during the podcast to an angel, and I'm allowed to submit questions to the angel. So if you want to submit questions, I need to make a community post, and you can give me the questions so we can, you know, that might be pretty cool to see what kind of questions we all come up with. Zaina, hello. Caroline, hello. Linda, hello. Elio, hello. My hair has been looking great. Thank you very much. It's come a long way since it was long when I first started. You know, if you stick with me long enough, you'll see me. I'll grow it long, then I'll cut it short, then I'll grow it long, I'll cut it short. I'll grow my facial hair out. I'll shave it off. That's a little bit less often, but so I keep changing. So if you stick around, you'll see that. Let me see. I wish I had some new health news to get you guys, but I didn't do my homework and look up something interesting for you. And where are we at? 70 people. Okay, there's 70 of you guys out there. There's got to be somebody that wants to share. And I'm looking into getting an Armenian guest with a translator. I've never done that before, having like a guest and then a side-by-side translator to tell their NDE. That might be something interesting. Like I said, I haven't done it. I guess I'd have to have the person speak a few lines and then translate a few lines. And speak a few and translate. I don't know. We'll see about that. Ask the angel how we got through the time. Okay, that might be good. You want to see what I look like with a shaved head. I will not go that far unless I'm balding and it's all falling out anyways. Then I guess I would go for it. But right now I still have enough hair. I just, you know, don't want to. I'm not that extreme. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you very much. You do want to share, but you're at work. Okay. Let's see, what else? I wish, you know what I should start doing is giving you guys the news. I mean, the news is usually pretty negative anyway, so it's really not what I want to do. But maybe, I think there's some positive news websites out there, so like before I pop in, if no one's willing to share, I can come in and do some positive news. And anyways, I was trying to think about, you know, the weekend right after Thanksgiving. Should we do like a Thanksgiving stream that's like what you're thankful for? Would that be interesting or not? I was like, would that be interesting? I don't know. Maybe it would get boring after a while. You guys let me know. Thank you, Spiritual Sniper. And what about a Christmas stream? Because I don't know what the date is of where Christmas falls this year. Let's see. Where does it fall in December? It follows on a Saturday night. Whoa. So I probably won't do the live stream on Friday well, I don't do the one on Friday anyways. Since that's on a Saturday, Christmas night, I don't know if we should either skip the whole week or move it to Sunday night. And what could we do that's Christmas themed? That's something to think about. I got a guest that I lined up in December named Peter Maxwell. I'm not sure, I didn't write down his last name, but he's a very famous guy that's been on like Ancient Aliens. It's a UFO guy, so that one should be really cool. Let me look through my calendar and see. Ask Angelics, that one, where I'm asking the angels, is in almost late November. I'll be recording that the 19th. And so far the month is filling up nicely, which is good. So that's kind of one of my biggest things, is getting all the guests. And as I may have said before, I probably do more NDE guests than anybody else. And even for me, it's hard to get somebody every single night. So that's why I try to bring you other people in as well, and stuff that you guys like. And so far what I've seen that you guys like are angel videos and UFO videos. Okay, what are we up to now? 96 people. 96. William, I had an NDE, but I didn't get through the tunnel, and I saw light beings that projected love and bliss. William, maybe you should jump on and share that with us. Absolutely, on Thanksgiving appreciation. And one of my guests said this before, and I don't know if you guys remember one of my guests saying that, but they said the closest you can get to unconditional love is appreciation. I think that's what they said. It was something like that. And I try to do it pretty often. And I learned from somewhere, if you can just say, or write down 3 things that you're thankful for every day. That is something I personally do. But I don't. I used to write it all the time, and I had pages and pages of it. And now I just kind of like think it out. So that's something to think about. Ask the angel people who are very sick and sleeping for a few minutes awake, talking in their souls. Bondage in heaven. Is anybody calling in? I don't know. Oh my, that would be awesome. Is Sniper your controller? Yesterday, your guest mentioned that angels may be aliens and UFOs are angels. Yeah, that's interesting. We were talking about a guy, with yesterday's guest, and I had known of him a long time ago, named Prophet Yahweh, and I'd seen his videos. When I saw him, he was based out of Las Vegas, and it almost kind of corresponds to the CE5 thing with Dr. Stephen Greer. And what they do is they meet in groups and they meditate and try to connect with the aliens by meditating. So on that perspective, possibly, are you connecting with aliens or angels? But usually they do that, and then they kind of, I think, all try to let the aliens know where they are. And then I guess a lot of these groups will see ships or something. To me, it looks like, from what they usually see, is something that's far away, but they are like a little light that actually kind of moves and does stuff. It's not like a star. So, and then actually we have a local group here. I've reached out to them, and I think they had a meeting, but I didn't go, but I might eventually go with them. I asked them if I could go and make a video, like a documentary video. And I mean, it wouldn't be obviously a podcast, but I would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? I'd go there, maybe interview some of the people, hang out, and then if a UFO appears, I can film the UFO and film everybody's reaction. I think that would be pretty cool. Hey, Eugene Braxton. Eugene Braxton's here? Maybe Eugene will come on. He's been a guest. I don't see him, but I see someone saying, hey, Eugene Braxton. Anyways, yeah, if you're here, Eugene, maybe you can pop on. And again, I would really like to, one of these days, get some of those night vision goggles. And hook those up to an iPad or a laptop so that I don't have to look through the goggles, just get the feed there and do UFO fishing and just kind of be looking up in the sky. And then, you know, if I see something, hit record. I think would be really cool. And what could be really amazing is, and that's I might go for it. I don't know. Get one of the astronomy lasers, and if I see a ship, point it at the ship and see if I can get their attention. Ah, there's Eugene Braxton. There he is. Eugene, there you are. America's most experienced mystic. All right, so I'm 15 minutes in. Nobody's decided to be a guest yet. And Eugene, if he does pop on, Eugene, there's a very famous UFO story about Betty and Barney Hill. And they were abducted, I believe. And I think Eugene has been working on a documentary about that. There is a Zoom link in the description of the video. William. Okay, William wanted to know how to do it. Yes, if you look down in the description, there is a Zoom link. All you have to do is turn on your Zoom, and if you can click join Zoom, then you can write, it'll give you like I guess my room ID or something like that. It'll tell you enter room ID, and then it'll say enter passcode. And so I've got both of those there. And then there you are. And I should have, you know, it's opposite of last week. Last week we had so many people. I was rushing through to get everybody a chance. And today it's opposite, right? So we'll see. Let's see. Who else is in the calendar here? Dun, dun. There is another guy named Michael Lennox. And I think he is another angel guy. And I think you guys may like that. Hope everyone's staying warm. Hey, Janet. Okay, while we're waiting, and perhaps if someone comes on, I will open it to you guys ask me questions. Because someone said I'll be on in 30. I don't know if that's 30 minutes or 30 seconds. That was Eugene. It's cold in Pennsylvania. It's warm in here in Texas. Actually, the other day it was 47 in the morning. I think it was 47, and that was cold for us. So, but today I think it was probably back up close to 80. Hold on. You experience your experience soon? Okay, great. You had an NDE when you're 31? Great. We'll be happy to have you. Best angle NDEs with Michael the Archangel. Okay. I had an experience with a huge UFO in the clouds. It almost looked like see-through. I tried recording it and my video glitched out. You're not the only one that has said that before. I'm pretty sure I had it was either another guest or somebody I talked to that said that when they got their phone or their camera up, it would like mess up the camera. It's freezing in the UK. It's 80 there. Interview with the U.S. soldier. I asked a guy. I'm glad you said that. I don't know what happened to him, but I had been speaking with a guy that was supposedly a member of the U.S. secret space program. And I think that would be pretty interesting to hear their story about, you know, going to all these planets and stuff and what they're up to. What would you make a Christmas show about miracles? That sounds good. That sounds pretty interesting. Christmas Miracles special. I like that. What do you guys think about that? A Christmas Miracle special. experience to try you guys. All right, so 157 people now out there. There's got to be one of you. And I can tell you, for me, it's interesting. Over time, it's weird. Is doing the podcast, there could be 200, 300 people there, and it's just kind of weird. It's like out of my mind. It's in my mind. There's nobody there. Isn't that kind of strange? Like, it's not like not like nobody's there, but it's not in my mind to be, to be worried about the guests, especially when I have people here. And I just remembered something that we were talking about last time, is that we're considering doing multiple people at the same time. And then I just mute people on and off. So I wonder if that would make you feel more comfortable or not. If you had if I had 4 or 5 or 2 or 3 or whatever, a bunch of people on the screen, instead of waiting waiting off screen, maybe you wait on screen. What do you guys think about that? That's true. Yeah, if that's a good point, Rosemary. If you want to blur yourself out, if you want to wear a mask, that's acceptable. Angel Miracle Show would be great. A miracle show. Okay, so we have 2 people for Christmas Miracle Show. What would be awesome? I don't know if there's enough out there, but if people could actually post Christmas miracles, kind of like what you see on television, those kind of Christmassy shows or movies. That would be awesome if someone can say, it was like on Christmas and this miracle happened. But that would probably be too difficult. Good idea for more than one person on the screen. Okay, so I will try that. When more than 2 people try to come on, I'll bring everybody on. And then I'll just mute everybody but one person. And actually, that might be pretty cool, because a lot of times it takes a while, like for their camera to finally work, right? Or their audio, one or the other. So it can kind of be getting set up as we're with one guest. Thank you for that. Rasta Vibration. I've been through a lot of experiences, but I'm only processing. What country are you in? Maine. Okay. Clara. 170. Well, the cool thing is, it's even though we're all waiting, nobody's leaving. You guys are just listening to me rattle off whatever, and but you guys are still all here waiting. So we're all waiting. We're all patiently waiting for you. So that's a good thing, right? We're waiting for you to share. So that means that you shouldn't be afraid. You bet there's a ton of Christmas miracles out there. That would be cool. I like that. I don't know. There probably is. What would be a really cool one is if you feel like you've really seen some version of Santa, like a Santa-based angel, like as if you felt like Santa was real. Thank you, Caroline. That would be amazing, right? Santa sightings, real Santa sightings. It's kind of like a UFO sighting and an angel sighting all in one. You actually have a Christmas miracle you will share. Perfect, perfect. And thank you, June. Thank you, guys. I like that idea. See, it's good. We're brainstorming together. Hi from Texas. Have you interviewed Nancy Rhines? I'm from Texas too, Scott. I have tried. Maybe she's not doing interviews anymore or what. A lot of the people, especially the famous people that if you think of the NDE world, I probably asked them already, and for some reason they declined. So it is what it is. But anyways, I kind of like what I do. And besides getting the famous people, I like finding the unknown people. Because I would assume, as you guys know, a lot of people are willing to come on that are unknown, and it's really cool to like have someone that's, you know, unknown. It's kind of like a fresh face. I am loving this, Tiffany. As a kid, I fell into a 6-foot tree well lined with rocks, hit my head. The property was on a lake that used to be in a sunset, and she and a female Indian spirit saved me from death. Oh, that's a cool story. I was dead for 4 minutes. I love to do the live now, but I'm on a 30-minute lunch break, at work in the busy ER, so I'd have to clock back in on time. Well, I only give you 10 minutes anyways. But sometimes if you guys have been with me on the live streams, what happens is a lot of times as well, there's no one here. Like as if someone was here with me right now, I just kind of keep going until someone else shows. So sometimes people are here for a long time. Have I ever heard of Amy Call? I don't think so. If you only believe in miracles, so would I. Well, we would be happy. We're all waiting for you, Ciara. So we would all like to hear your story. Can you turn up the volume? That is something that I've got to really work with. Let's see if I can turn up my mic volume. My mic volume is right here, and it's all the way up. If you can see this little thing where my hand is, it's all the way up, so I can't turn it up anymore. And this is my guest volume right here. Please do an interview on orbs. I was supposed to have someone from Japan do an interview on orbs, and we kind of lost touch with each other. I need to go find that guy and see what's up. That's the thing that's kind of does is there's quite a few people that I'll talk to, and then we'll talk, and then we just kind of lose trust, and then lose each other, and then, you know, that's the way it goes. All right, so we got Amanda here, asked to unmute and asked to start, and then Steven's here too. Okay. Hello. Hey, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you?
I just had to break the ice. I'm great. I'm a little nervous, like a lot nervous, but I listen to you all the time, and I love your show so much.
Well, thank you so much, and you don't seem nervous to me. You seem great. Where are you, by the way? You have beautiful trees behind you.
I do. I'm in Seattle, West Seattle.
Oh, wow. You're so lucky.
I should take you outside. It's freezing.
It's so beautiful there. I think there's a pretty big NDE ions community in Seattle.
Is there really?
Yeah, I know I've had one guest from Seattle.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah, it looks great out there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What is the temperature?
It's about 48.
Nice. Very nice.
On and off rain, and I have some gorgeous tree friends. I tell you, man, I am so blessed.
Yeah.
So blessed.
When you have, looks like would you have a dog? I thought I saw your dog behind you too.
Yeah, Jack is here. Jack, I don't know how to turn this around. Jack, come here.
And there's Jack.
Come here.
Hey, Jack.
There's Jack.
Oh, there he is.
Yep, that's Jack. Anyway, well, I could break the ice. I have just a really couple stories. I mean, you wanted paranormal stories, right?
Paranormal, supernatural, you know.
Well, I had a recent one. I sleep on a bed that's kind of low to the ground, and I was at the edge of the bed. And this, of course, in the middle of the night, I woke up, and right in my face is this little boy. And I screamed really loud because it startled me so much. And I woke my neighbors.
Wow.
Who I live in the back of a house in the studio, and they called and asked me if I was okay. But and then I asked a psychic about it, and he suggested that perhaps I have a portal in my bedroom. And oh yeah, you got people going through all the time. So I'm like, okay. And now I feel really bad that I yelled at this spirit However, okay, so that was a recent experience. And I've had other experiences where I've certainly felt things extremely strongly. And I had one, here's an interesting one I'll just throw out there. It's one of my favorites from when I was young, and I was in Hawaii, and we used to go every year. Oh my gosh. And we stayed in a particular place, and we had to move from our particular room, actually kind of like a suite. It was so awesome and really inexpensive at the time. And so we were up high, and I happened to wake up in the middle of the night, and I stuck my nose against the screen and looked up at the sky. And what I saw was two concentric circles in the sky, dot to dot stars, divided into the shape of the zodiac, with a sort of sun described in the middle, dot to dot. And it was enormous, and it was over the water. And for the longest time, I mean, it was just clear as day. But for the longest time in my child mind, I was probably somewhere around 10. And I thought that I just got lucky and saw the stars in this configuration. And I've asked, and that, you know, maybe this happens once in a while. Wow, I got to see this interesting constellation. Mm-hmm. And mind you, I'm quite young, and I wake up my friend Nancy. It was my friend Nancy and I, and her mom and my mom, and we always traveled together. And so I woke her up and I said, look, there's Gemini. Mm. And I'm a Sagittarius, which was right across from Sagittarius, as it should be. And there was Sagittarius. And she just said, and went back to bed. So I had no one to verify this, but I've asked people over the years. And so I'm putting it out there. If anybody has any comments, I have in my mind that it possibly could have been the bottom of a ship that potentially morphed to look to something somewhat familiar to me, and so I wouldn't be freaked out. Or maybe they just showed me something pretty. I've always had a keen interest in astrology since I was 13, and I'm 57 now. So, I mean, that's always been there, which is interesting also. And I've also heard, you know, it was just a vision. It was a vision. And I was happy with that when I was a child. I had someone tell me it was a vision. I'm like, okay, it was a vision. Anyway, that's all for right now, other than to say I'm so grateful for your show. I have a friend who died recently, and it's really helped me sort of confirm the way I feel about what happens after you die. And I'm really happy for him, man. It was a grace that he died. He had a lot of shit going on. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody who's listening. And
you did.
I hope more people will come on, because I love listening to everybody's stories so much.
Great. And you did great. I mean, I don't think anybody here would say that you appeared nervous at all. You did terrific.
God, if you could feel the heartbeat in my tummy, then you would.
No, you did amazing.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I appreciate you, because if I don't get people on, you're just going to watch me, and that's not really a cool show.
Well, you do so well at that. Well, at any rate, looking forward to the next person. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for sharing. We'll see you later.
Okay. Love to you all. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. What happened to this? There it is.
You're going to have to click me off, Jeff.
All right. See you later. There she goes. Don't report. And we got our good friend Steven here. A lot of times we see Steven at the end of the night, but we got him at the beginning. What will he surprise us today? Because one time recently he was juggling, and we will want to know, will he be juggling this evening or something else? Asked to start video, and here he comes. I was asking, we were hoping to see if you were going to surprise us tonight. Last time you were juggling.
Well, my voice was destroyed, so I can only talk with a movie voice.
What happened?
Some people asked, how did you get such a wonderful... Well, I got really sick and threw up a lot, so I couldn't speak anymore.
Oh, I thought maybe Monique karate chopped you into the throat. Not.
No, my life is a living hell.
Ooh.
Some people ask, how did I get such a great voice? First, I captured Casey Kasem. Then I tortured Miguel Ferreira and got the soul of Don LaFontaine. I even invented a time machine, went back into 1944 and went mano a mano with the man, Adolf Hitler, in its bunker. One man goes, two men go in, one man comes out.
At first I thought, well, yeah, I could get your movie voice. It almost sounds a little Trumpish too. So how are you this week, Stephen? I think you got...
Like I said, not good. This is the only way I can speak.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. So what kind of sickness did you have? What caused you to vomit over and over again?
Well, I've got, yes, extremely stressed out, and I got infections. I can only sleep for about an hour at a time.
Wow.
And then I have to constantly clear the phlegm.
It's just something it's something that's going around up there, or what?
No, it's just I got stressed out,
okay.
And then I got sick.
Oh, I can.
And then all my problems amplify.
Well, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, because when you get stressed out, your immunity gets low and it makes you more susceptible.
That's right.
That's right. Where are you from?
We are immune.
I'm sorry.
Duluth, Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Yes.
Is it cold up there right now? Is it snowing?
Today it was about 60 degrees, so very warm.
Oh, nice. I was looking at the weather map the other day, and it looked like it was already snowing in Colorado and maybe even in New Mexico, that far south. Are you in your usual room this time, or a different room?
The same room.
Because
the internet here is terrible.
The heater?
The internet is terrible here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I can't, when I had my own computer in the room, I would play video games, and I was very good at them. One of the best first-person shooters around. But with your latency at 1,000, it's hard to do anything.
Right. What was your game? Call of Duty?
I was one of the best in Counter-Strike. But there was a game called Sniper Elite, and I was extremely good at that.
Sniper Elite. Well, you might have something in common with Spiritual Sniper in the chat. We've got 2 snipers here.
I'm just very quick-witted, so whatever I do, I'm very good at.
Yes, that's true. All right, well, do you have anything to share with us this week?
Well, we can say that I do have a spirit with me at all times.
Yes.
And she moves my hand.
Right. For those of
and
you...
can even give me a slap, sits on my bed.
Right. For those of you that don't know, if you're here for the first time, Stephen has a spirit with him all the time. Her name is Monique. And
she died by suicide.
She died by suicide, and as he said, she can grab his arms and move his arms and his head.
Over time, she just became more and more adept at doing things, and I allow it to happen too. So I allow her to move my arms like this.
Right.
If I start playing music, she'll start doing this.
She'll make
the
you
top
dance.
40 hits by Casey Kasem.
And so, do you think why does she never leave?
Because my life is going into the gutter.
So she's just
they're just there to be supportive. If I was having a life, none of this would be happening.
Well, that's nice that she's there with you. It's almost like as if she's an angel in a way.
Kind of. We've all got people with us. It's just to the degree that they interact with us.
Sam,
even when
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Even when I was young, occasionally I would feel someone putting a hand on my thigh as I laid in bed.
Right. We have a question here from Sam. Does she bring you fear or peace?
She is from God, so I'm constantly surrounding myself with a white light. I can discern spirits. I've I do not like evil. We'll just say that.
Okay. All right. And as we know, or for those that don't know, I think you found a picture of her, and from the picture she came to you, right?
That's what happened, because when we look at someone's picture, it connects on a spiritual level.
Right. And somehow she linked in with you and realized you need help, and there she comes.
And it might have been deeper than that. I might have already been sensing that this person would connect with me as I downloaded her picture.
What would be amazing is do you think she hears our conversation?
Of course they do. They hear everything.
All right. What would be amazing is if we could somehow talk to her through you, and she could move your hand in like a yes/no question.
It's just a game to her. She'll do squares, circles.
Because it would be awesome if we could ask a yes or no question, and she could lift one of your hands for yes and both hands for no. How about that? Monique, do you want to play this game? If you're hearing us, one hand for yes, both hands for no. That's, I guess, a no.
It's just a game. She likes the Macarena. The Macarena, that where you put your arms up.
Yeah. The Macarena.
Usually when if I'm on the golf course waiting for someone to tee off, she'll raise my arm up. Or if I'm waiting for something, going to the bathroom, having a tinkle, she'll just raise my arm up. That's normally what happens.
So she sounds like a jokester.
That's when I kind of did a little bit. Her parents said she liked having fun. When they left, they leave, talk about after someone died.
How did she?
I like having fun too.
We all do. How did she die again? How did she die? I think your internet's locking up. Are you there? Uh-oh. He may have really slow internet. As he said, he has
really bad.
Now it's coming back. How did she die? Do you remember? Or do you know? And we're losing it. All right, so we have 187 people there. While we're waiting for him to come out, I will make an announcement that I have a new Discord. The new Discord link is in the description below. So if you want to hang out with like-minded people, they're there for you, and you can chit-chat and voice chat and post memes and all kinds of stuff. And I think you can even video chat with each other there. So the Discord link is there. The Zoom link is there if you want to join. Eugene Braxton, he said he'll be coming on. I think it'll be pretty soon, and he's gone. There goes Steven. Anyways, Eugene has been one of my guests. We talked about his NDE in depth. So we'll catch up with Eugene, what he's up to. And we'll come back here and see what's going back in the chat while we're waiting for more people to join. And it's almost 200 people, which is amazing. So if it was literally 1% of you would want to join, that means about 2 people would be out there willing to join while we're waiting for you. I guess Ciara changed her mind. She was there, but was on break. Let me ask Quest, how do you get connected again? William, you have to have Zoom. It's a free download, the app. You could probably get it on your phone or your computer or whatever. Once you get that, you click join meeting. Once you find a meeting that you want to join, then it'll ask you for the room ID and the password, and those two are in the description of this video. And actually, I can just see it here. You don't even have to click, show the description. It says Zoom ID and 275-757-8850. And the passcode is D48XU1. So it's right there. Pink light, hello. Yeah, it's interesting that for you guys, I kind of wish I was up north. That would be nice to kind of be like, on a cold night. This would probably be kind of fun, or more fun. If it's on a cold night, you got the fireplace going, keep warm. You could kind of be here and hanging out. Ever interviewed people who left this world from doing DMT? Well, I've had a few. I've had a few DMTs, and I think at least 2 of them said they felt like their DMT was like an NDE. And actually, a thing that actually surprised me is with my episode with Dr. Eben Alexander recently is he said he did DMT, but he felt like that it wasn't nowhere near an NDE for him. So, and we talked about the NDE, and he kind of felt like he called it a red herring, which means to me that it was just kind of insignificant in the world of NDEs. And we got Typo here. Typo, hello.
Hi there. How's your night going?
Good. How is yours going? What's going on up there in Massachusetts?
It's cold. It's cold. Yes, but your show really makes things much warmer.
Yeah, that's great.
Was on a binge over the last day and a half, just settling my own issues in my head. And so I've been watching your guests and your interviews, and I'll tell you, you are so valuable to our community. Really, thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I am thankful for the community, because without the community and nobody watching, I wouldn't be making the videos, right?
Yes. And what a community you have gathered. I was looking at a number of them, and one caught my attention, and I thought, if no one calls in, then I'm going to call in and bring this up because I think it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Let me for a moment look at what this podcast that I'm referring to. It's an oldie but goodie. Here we go.
All right, 1 second. I lost you. I'm not seeing you there.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me hit Zoom again. Oh, here you go. Hi.
Now, before you say something, I had been talking about this earlier. I don't know if you were here for this, and someone mentioned this last week, that I should bring everybody in at the same time, but only turn on one person's mic.
Ooh.
So, what do you think about that?
I think we can always try it. The entire study that we're going through as a group is about seeing what works, right? And experiment with human consciousness. So let's try it. Give it a shot.
So I'm going to put admit all, but I'll mute their mics until their turn is up. I don't know who's next, but I'll try to mute everybody, and we'll see how this goes. And maybe that'll help anyways, because for some people it takes them a long time. We'll just keep talking. You imagine I'll do this work. You don't worry about that. And it takes them a long time for their computer and their camera and their mic and everything to get in. So if you're listening and trying to get in, just to let you know that I'm going to mute you as soon as you actually get in. Anyways, back to you.
That's great. Let's try it out.
All right.
So I was watching you had an interview. It was podcast number 69, and It was Dr. Kramer, a female, who had a Kundalini, and she had been dead for, I think, 14, 15 minutes.
Was it an Australian woman living in South Carolina or something like that? Linda Kramer? I think that's her.
I think you're on it. You're on it.
Right.
At any rate, I think that you were smart from the beginning, and you numbered these.
Well, I'll have to give the credit of numbering these podcasts to my wife. That was her idea.
Then we really keep track.
Wait, I'm gonna wait for a second.
Mara, thank you so much.
We'll have to wait a second. Your internet froze. You back? Now you're back.
I never left, so if I'm not on, I'll hit.
All right, you're there. So yeah, for a minute you froze, but I was trying to say that was my wife's idea. It was a great idea, and she had been telling me, and it takes me a while to finally get, to actually implement it. But we can thank my wife for that. And actually, I think it's a great idea, especially for the titles and to help people find specific guests. And I really need to sit back and go back through all of them and all the old ones and put them all in the titles. It's just I'm just always so busy.
It's amazing what you accomplish every day. When I see your thing pop up, I'm amazed at the speed at which you do this. So yeah, Mara, thank you so much. Well done. Well done behind the scenes, director lady. So podcast 69 was Dr. Kramer, and she hit on this little, I just wanted to bring this to the forefront for the night and see if anyone wanted to discuss this, because I think it's a really fun little topic. Well, until people start calling in and you get so bombarded. And that is, she was talking about her ability, one of her abilities. And as we know, when people experience Kundalini, which I have never experienced,
right? But
when people experience Kundalini, every single asset that a human consciousness has comes to life, right? And it usually, you hear stories of them taking months and months just to sort of consciously understand what's happening, and they can see illness in people, and they can see what's the one that she talked about that was really cool. This is what I wanted to bring up. What's the name of this? Somebody, if you know the name of this, when you hear it, I just for the moment forgotten, but it's in her podcast. When you touch an object, you can feel the history of it. You can bring up. What is the name?
I don't know, but that's a good point. You mentioned that. Like, was it her or something? She could touch a pencil and know what tree it came from.
Yes. And the history of that, the emotions of the people that had owned it, etc. And just when she mentioned that in the interview.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was not like, you have remote viewing, but it was remote something else, I'm pretty sure is what she called it. Remote something else.
Thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you...
Go.
I was going to ask you and everybody, do you like Kundalini experience videos?
Oh, yes. I mean, they give us a snapshot of all of the available abilities. So that's really important to have as a historical record. And many of your videos I've considered actually paying for the process of uploading them onto library, so that in the event of any nasty going on and they ditch videos, because sometimes you can't find videos years later.
Right.
And I thought, these are such a valuable research of knowledge when more people are coming in to figure this out. We're going through a lot of death in this world right now, right? And as near-deathers, we know it's part of the course, right? I mean, for some reason they've asked for it, and it's just unraveling that way.
Well, I want to tell you,
your videos are just important.
Sorry, I unmuted the wrong person. Sorry about that. Hold on. All right, you there?
I am.
You're freezing up anyways, but I want to ask you this. Someone reached out to me today, and he used to be a Buddhist monk for so many years. I don't know, many years. And I think he used the word, he dropped the robes or whatever. And then he had a Kundalini experience. And he sent me a video telling me that he wants to be a guest. And I thought it would be, I don't know a lot, but I think it would be amazing. And he says that he has tools to help people have an NDE experience without having the NDE. So maybe his Buddhist monk training combined with his Kundalini experience or whatever. But that could be a really interesting video. So I wrote back to him, and then I haven't heard back from him yet. But that would be my first.
Absolutely, yes.
That would be my first Buddhist monk guest, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, like crazy, right? You just finished having Eben Alexander, the neurologist, on, right?
Right.
The neurosurgeon.
Right.
He was fabulous. So, a woman said, and see what you think about this. In that interview, for just a moment, she talks about that ability that she had, and that was to be able to touch things and feel its history. And then she was clarifying to say, and you were like, wow, how does that feel? How would you ever? And she was talking about a client asking that the client wanted to learn how. And she said, remember, you have free will. Any of these abilities that you want, if you want it, just ask, because that's your free will saying, I want that in this experience of life, right? And if you don't ask, you won't get it. So you'll have to exercise and practice. But if anybody here hears any crazy ability that they're curious about, that lady on podcast 69 did a great job of explaining it, and basically ask and you shall receive. So that was fabulous. So what do you think of that when you hear it?
I thought it was pretty cool. And you know what? I think that I originally heard it from another guest. Her name is April, and she's the girl. She's like one of these, gosh, I guess you would say psychic. And she's the one that's like on TV. And that's an old one, but I don't know. I didn't get a lot of traffic, but if you go to my homepage and it plays like all the different people, I kind of made like a little commercial for the channel, and she's on there. But her name's April something, an Italian girl. And I think the very first time I heard that was actually before Linda, that she was talking about that she could touch stuff and know all the history of it. I don't remember if her name was April Tremonti, maybe April Tremonti or something.
Fabulous. One of them, I told you I was on a binge. I was a binge watcher while I was doing laundry and dishes. I was just watching and watching. It made me feel so good. I really appreciate what you post.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Another woman was, it may have been one of them that you're talking about. And she talked about in her NDE, when she stepped on an animal, when she like even stepped on an ant, she would have a moment of being conscious of that feeling and the karmic, like, oh, I didn't want to do that. And that's the value here, because a lot of the people that we're in this reality with, they don't know what they're going to experience. They don't know that they're causing, I don't know, even name calling. They don't know that they're going to hear the thought of the people around them saying, you didn't want to do that. You just didn't want to do it. So won't it be cool? Because we're on a breakthrough. I mean, you're posting a video a day. This stuff is going to eventually, it's a no-brainer. You can't argue it anymore. There are so many of us.
Right.
People got to realize that that their touch or what they say and they post with each other, or how often the media tells us to think of what we don't want, right? And as a conscious, you don't want to think of what you don't want.
Right.
But that's a learning curve to go, oh my goodness, I've been thinking about what I don't want.
Well,
right? That's possible.
I don't know if I might have been off air. I had a recent podcast with Jim Bruton. I don't know if you saw that, but we were talking, I think we were talking off air, and he said that I think the number he quoted was 5% of the world has had an NDE. So
those numbers,
5% of 5-6 billion.
Fabulous. Yeah. So it's catching on, and that's why you're so valuable. And I don't know if you have it on blockchain. Have you listed your podcasts on blockchain?
I don't know what that is. My podcast is, I do have an audio version. You can listen to it on iTunes, Spotify, and I use a company called Anchor, which is owned by Spotify, which puts it out to about 8 different places. And I think it's on like Amazon and I don't know, whatever other ones. Blockchain, I have no idea, but it's out there. It doesn't get as much traffic as YouTube. That's where I get the most traffic is from here, which is okay. That's really what I want.
Yes, I agree. For the here and now, that is the place. But I would be willing to do that at my own cost, just to know that you're permanent. So a blockchain contract like a Theta TV or library, or we could talk in your Discord anytime. I'm under type.
Right, and I'm glad you brought it up. I never said this, but I was going to say, speaking of my podcast, from time to time you will hear beeps in my videos, and the beeps is just, it's just there to keep it friendly. And anyways, on the audio podcast, I don't put any beeps. So for anybody who's always wondering, what did he say during the beep? Well, if you go to the audio, I think Google Podcast is another one that it's on. If you go there, you can find out what was said. But usually they're just, most of the time it's curse words and stuff, which is really not that important. I know we're all adults and you've heard them all, probably said them all, but so you're really not missing anything with those whatever that I beep out. It's really not that important.
Well, it's your call, but if you want me to, I will, because blockchain can't be taken down ever. It is part of the universal library of mankind, and it will always be available. Okay. And it can't be down or destroyed. So if that's something you care about and you want to see that, I do, because I think you are documenting our rise in consciousness. Cool. And there's nothing more important mankind than that.
All right, cool. Let me look into it. I appreciate the offer.
All right. Well, guys, I hope you have a great time, and please call in. It's great to meet everybody and hear different perspectives and experiences, and I'm enjoying the night. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right. See you later. Bye, Typo.
Bye.
All right. So cool. We're trying this tonight. I don't know who's next. Who got on here next? I'll just go to peace and love, and then we'll go from there. And this is something new, so you guys will have to let me know if you like this format. We'll have everybody waiting on camera versus waiting off camera. Are you there? Peace and love.
Can you hear me?
Yes. And what is your? What should I call you? Peace and love or?
Tara.
Tara. All right. Where are you from,
yeah.
Tara?
Connecticut.
Connecticut. It's probably cold up there too, right?
And I'm so sorry that I screwed you up before.
No,
I only have my phone. So when I was trying to do the Zoom, you pulled me on and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Oh no, it's not a problem at all. It didn't mess me up.
And I'm super camera shy.
Well,
so
it doesn't
look me a while to call in.
It doesn't look like it to me. You look just like anybody else.
My face is red. I can feel it.
Wow, it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, I actually missed you the last couple of weeks. I was gonna call in on the 30th, but I had a Halloween party, and before that, I actually went up to Salem, so I ended up missing it. I had to catch it on the replay.
Well, that's all right. So, what kind of experience have you had?
I've had quite a few. I've kind of been sensitive, but maybe we'll talk about. I had some weird experiences when my grandparents passed away. My grandfather, he passed away in 2009. Before he passed away, I'm from Chicago originally, so he was living in Illinois and I was in Connecticut, and I was working, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I heard somebody whisper my name. I heard Tara, and I turned around to see who it was, thinking it was a coworker. There was nobody there. So I looked up at the clock and I saw it was like 11 o'clock. So I would always get this feeling, and I would just call my family. I'd go down the line, call my grandma, call my mom, call my best friend, my brothers and sisters, see what was going on. And that day I found out that my grandfather had a bloody nose. He was older. he was taking blood thinners, so it was just pouring out. So my grandma was like, "Oh, everything's good, but your grandpa went to the hospital today. He had a bloody nose, and it was just gushing blood." And from that point, I knew he wasn't coming back home. He ended up making it. This was in May of 2009. He passed away December 2009, December 18th. I had made a split decision to buy a plane ticket to go see him. They were going to take the tube out. They said he couldn't breathe on his own, but they were going to try it the following day. And I'm like, I need to be there. So he hung out for, what is that, 8 months? Something like that in the hospital. I went there. My mom picked me up from the airport. We had a great day with my grandpa. He seemed to be doing very well. They said, "Oh, yeah, we took it out. He's breathing on his own." They put him in palliative care. The next day I was going to pick up my grandmother to come. And I was waiting for a car. One of my friends was going to let me borrow. And woke up in the morning and found out he passed away.
Wow.
So I ended up having to give my grandmother, let her know what happened, which was definitely hard. There is a meaning to this. So I've never dealt with anybody passing away in my family or anybody else before this. No idea what the steps to do, no idea what steps to take. My uncle, who is quite older, lives in a different state, called me, thanked me for being there. I'm like, okay, that was weird. But for some reason, I was able to know, and I think that my grandpa kind of put it in my head to let me know what to do. My grandparents were old when they had my mother. My mother was young when she had me. So my mom was the only one around taking care of them. And I ended up knowing everything to do out of nowhere. I was there for less than a week. I flew home on Christmas Eve to be with my kids and my husband at the time. And I was able to get all of his stuff cleared out, get Social Security taken care of, get my grandma. They were living in like an assisted living place, got her transferred to a smaller room, all within that time, knew everything to do. So 2 years later, in 2011, actually 2010, my grandmother had a stroke around Thanksgiving, and they didn't think she was going to make it till the end of the week. Of course, that devastated me because they were my main caretakers when I was growing up. I was very close to them. I did the same thing. I had my friend book me a flight, went out there to see her. By this time it was January. I was going through a divorce. My whole life was shattered. I didn't have a lot of money, but I made the trip out there. My mom picked me up at the airport really early in the morning. And she told me, she's like, I just want you to know that she's not going to know who you are. She goes, I didn't want to tell you before, but, I just want to let you be prepared. Nope. Went in that room. She knew exactly who I was. She couldn't talk. She was trying to talk to me. She just kept trying and trying. And the only thing that I could do was to ask her questions. And like my kids and other people I'm close to, I kind of have like a knowing of what they want to talk about. So I just kind of asked her questions. Are you scared? Are you ready to go see Grandpa? We're okay. It's okay to go. And anyways, the next morning she did end up labored breathing and everything. And we had gone back to the hospital in the morning during a blizzard. And we were sitting there for hours. We probably got there about 9 o'clock in the morning. We were there till about 6. And we were falling asleep. My sister's a boxer. She had a fight the night before, which we went to go see. So we were all kind of tired. And we were kind of all falling asleep in our chair. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I start hyperventilating. And I scared my mom and my sister. And they're like, are you okay? What's going on? And at that point in time was when my grandmother took her last breath. And as she did that, I just started crying. And it was really like the weirdest thing that has ever happened. I don't know what happened. I don't understand it. I wish I did, but I will tell you, my mom told me if she's ever in the hospital, don't come visit her.
It was almost like you had a shared death experience with her or something.
Yeah, I don't know if she like passed through me or if because I was so close to her, but like I didn't feel anything. I just out of nowhere started hyperventilating. Like if I was sitting here just relaxing and just started hyperventilating at that moment.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that's my best guess is that I mean, I guess a total shared death experience would be you would also be like traveling through the tunnel and seeing what she sees to be a complete. But it kind of sounds like you shared it with her, and maybe somehow you had some kind of other connection. That's how she was able to remember you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just really weird. But even when we were there, because I was there for about 3 days before she passed, even one of her nurses, it was a male nurse, and I think him seeing the effect that I had on my grandmother, and my mom had been there all the time, like they wouldn't, even though my mom had power of attorney, like he would run everything by me, and it kind of made me feel a little bit upset. I mean, I kind of chose how my grandma passed. I wanted to make sure she was comfortable and all that, but we'll just say that I went through a very rough 3 years during that time, which in turn brought me to a spiritual awakening. Wow. It was like everything completely stripped me. I've had other experiences too. They're not as, I don't know if it's heartwarming or whatever, but yeah, I mean, that was part of what helped strip me to the bare bones.
All right. Well, I need to move on to everybody, but I hope you will come back next Saturday. I hope you come back next Saturday and share your spiritual awakening with us.
Sure, no problem.
That would be cool.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Tara. Thank you so much for coming and sharing. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you.
All right. So let's get Bill up next. He's been waiting there, and then we'll go to Eugene. Let's see. Ask to unmute. Asking Bill to unmute. He sees us. And he's there. And we got Liz. We'll let her join. Can you hear us, Bill? And this is a new thing. You guys will have to let me know if you like everybody in at the same time. Oh, okay, they do. They prefer, everybody's preferring individual. Okay, well then. Okay. All right, Bill, are you there? Your mic is turned on the system within Zoom, but maybe your mic is not on where they, on your end, like your actual microphone or your mic volume. Because I see, oh, there it's turned off. And I don't hear you. I see you and I see you talking, but when you watch somebody talk, you can see, like, if you look at my microphone as I talk, it goes up and down. And usually when yours turns on, it'll come up and down too. So we'll see how that goes. So interesting that people prefer a one-on-one. So that's a good test that we'll try that. So we'll know for next time that we'll go back to the old way. And there is Liz. And we'll see. That's the only problem. I wish, on some way, it's easier for a radio call-in show because they can, automatically. It's the telephone and it automatically comes on. But for this, we have to go through all this electronic stuff. Oh, that's the reason. So according to my wife, people were shy, so they don't. It's better to go individual. I don't know. It would be interesting to ask the people that are in queue or in line. How does it feel? You're waving, but I don't got sound from you. Oh, that's weird. I don't know what's going on with Bill's. I'm going to try this, and then I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay, I just tried turning you on, and you have to turn yourself back on. I turned you off. You turn yourself back on, and then we'll see how that works. And it shows you're back on, but I don't have anything. You're going to have to probably check either your own microphone, or you're going to have to see if you go in your Zoom. You go into your Zoom preferences and see what microphone is working. I'm going to turn your mute. I'm going to mute you and bring Eugene in. And while you can kind of see if you can troubleshoot that. I'm going to see if Eugene's will turn on while you're trying to troubleshoot it. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Eugene, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. How you been?
I was thinking about you. What did you think of my analysis on the last guest that I was saying maybe she had a shared death experience?
Was that after Eben Alexander?
No, the one that we just talked to, the girl, Tara, that I was just, did you hear our conversation? Yeah. That she said that she felt a hyperventilating, like her mother was losing her breath?
You know, it seemed like she had like, and sometimes men get it, like when the wife is pregnant, they'll get like a sympathetic, they can feel temporarily what the wife feels, especially if she's in some kind of pregnancy stress. And I had that with my son's mom. And I think that's what it was. Like she definitely psychic, and she had like a sympathetic, she felt exactly what her grandmother was feeling at that time. That's what I think it was.
Yeah, I agree with you. So what's new in your world?
It's been normal. I've been trying to rest a little, and then, you know, exercise, trying to keep in good shape. And it's been just kind of normal, laying low, watching the world. There's been like a lot of earth changes, volcanoes, earthquakes here, China, India, all over California.
Right.
Just watching stuff.
Right. For those of you that don't know, I had Eugene on for two podcasts back to back. That was the first time I ever did that, because he had so much information, and we went way over time. And so I think I just said, why don't you come back? And it worked out that he came back the next day, and I recorded another one. So if you guys want to check out some really extensive information about NDEs, Eugene gave us a lot of information those 2 days.
Thanks, Jim.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was a really good show, and I think about it. I watch it sometimes, and you do pump out a lot of good shows, and I've missed the last couple, but they're good. Like I watch them back to back, you know, because it's super good to hear what the other people have to say, especially the normal people, who have the most information. And it's good to see the memory of what they have and the descriptions. So I like listening and learning too a lot. But yeah, show is doing good. Yeah, keep on.
Yeah, I wonder about that for people, like, since I'm putting them out basically every day, for you guys that watch, it's easy for you to get behind. And then all of a sudden you may get behind 2 or 3 videos, and those are hour-long videos, so it's hard to catch up. Yeah,
and I mean, people have stuff to do in the real world, and then they have other channels and stuff. But there's always a time of day when someone wants some kind of esoteric information or audio, and your show is perfect to tune into, because you get the best information from the normal people.
Right. And I'm thinking that, you know, a lot of people listen while they're in bed, you know, about to go to sleep, but it may be a good thing, because you go into I don't know what state it is, a delta wave or an alpha wave or whatever. I need to clarify all that for myself, but at least you're having some positive type of, you know, material going in when you're in that brain wave. For the most part. I mean, there are some hellish NDEs too.
Yeah.
So maybe
it's definitely better. Like because I lay down and listen to it too. I'll turn off the lights or make it super dim and just listen or watch. But yeah, it's a good thing to knock out on, because it's, like you said, it's pleasant for the mind when you go to sleep. You don't want any bad dreams and stuff,
Right. Where are you on the Betty and Barney Hill documentary?
Yeah. So we interviewed Betty when she was 80 in 1999, in May of 1999. I took a small group of kids up to kind of pass down her story to the next generation.
1 second. Why don't you just give a super quick, let them know who Betty and Barney Hill are?
Okay, yeah. Betty and Barney Hill were an interracial couple from America in the 1960s. In 1961 of September, they were abducted by a UFO. They didn't really remember any of it. But later, under medical hypnosis by the government, they were able to recall their story. And it was the first authentically government-proven abduction. And my dad was friends with Barney before he met Betty. They were both from Philly, my dad and Barney. And eventually we got to meet Betty and Barney in the 60s. And we would go up to their house on the weekend, stay over, listen to the story, drive back, and then in the summer, do it again. So about twice a year, we would go up and spend the weekend with them because Dad and them had been friends since the 40s. So it was pretty cool. So I did a documentary with her, an extensive one where I gently interrogated her fully. I was working for Dr. Jacobs at the time. They were having a feud about whether people could go through a solid object. So I went down to see who was more correct. And they were actually both right, because people do go through solid objects and are taken physically, like Betty Hill believed. And so they were both right. But it was a good interview, 3 hours long. One of her, definitely her longest, and probably her last one. And I just withheld it from the public because I was doing the near-death research at the time, and that was more important than the film. So I kept it to the side, and we'll release it within the year or a year. But yeah, so there's been a lot of clamor about it. And this is the 60th anniversary of that abduction. And I was able in the interview to pull some things out of her that she hadn't revealed before. So it's pretty good. And it was good to turn the younger generations onto her too.
I think once you release that, and if you've got information that's never been put out before, that's going to be huge within the UFO community, because everybody knows that story, but to have all this new information, a lot of people are going to be talking about that.
Yeah, there's some is personal, which is on film that she revealed. Like she had Indian blood, Cherokee. And she also, the aliens had an interest in Barney, especially his bone density and bone structure. And she hadn't, I don't think she ever, or she very rarely talked about that. But there are other things that the film revealed. The only thing, and she was perfect on every question I had. And I kind of asked her as a mystic, who was also working with Dr. Jacobs. So I was literally pumping them both. I worked with Dr. Jacobs for 12 years. So I wanted to see what she believed. And so I asked her every question I could. And the only thing that stumped her was I asked her, do you think people mistake aliens for angels? And she had never really considered that. That was in 99. And then we were getting into the interdimensional phase of the aliens, instead of literal coming in literal ships and from rock planets.
That's interesting.
It was just,
it's interesting that you bring that up, because on the podcast that I posted last night, aliens being angels was a topic of conversation.
I was at Sun's and didn't go online at all. Yeah. So I'll check it out after we. Okay, good.
Yeah, we're talking about that. And what's that fascinating for those of you that are listening is he's speaking of Dr. Jacobs, which is another famous guy, super famous guy that was a hypnotherapist. And I believe he did a ton of research on hypnotizing people and their alien encounters. And I don't know where he's at now, but I believe Dr. Jacobs was saying that these aliens are coming here. You don't know, they look just like us, but they have like superpowers. as far as telepathy, and they can make you do whatever they want. The only weird thing about them is they are socially awkward. So they usually have a companion with them that helps them interact socially. Am I correct by saying that?
Yeah, that sounds exactly correct, especially about the handler, like the human handler, who helps them integrate. Yeah. Dr. Jacobs, in the late 80s, early 90s, he was into the abduction and memory phase. And then in the 90s, he realized there was a threat. And he actually made a book called The Threat, where he got behind the scenes of what was happening on the ships. And then I worked with him from 99 to 2012. So after the 2000s, he got into the, what you were talking about, the hybrid, half human, half hybrid, integrating into society. And I felt that was a little far-fetched, a little.
Well, if he
he's, he was the number one then, so it was my job just to learn from him.
As far as I know of him, it's maybe pretty scary what he says. It's like they want to take over the planet.
Yeah, he was with him, their main agenda was control. And in my near-death UFO research, I saw that control aspect too, and spoke of the controller. This figurehead who can interact or go to any realm, dimension, or scene and interact with it. The scientists believe that controller is God. No, the humans would call that controller God. The scientists aren't allowed to call it God, so they call it the controller. But we know that controller as God. And there was some alien interaction in that, and in the near-death and life after death.
Right.
When people are abducted, they are asked about the nature of the soul, life after death, and consciousness, all the heavy, important things. So that's what the second book will be about.
Right.
I saw a connection. Yeah, it was necessary to work with those scientists to see what they thought, to be actually able to join in with them. I was invited, and I learned a lot, and it's good. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to have to run, but before I run, I want to let you plug your book real quick. Tell everybody the title, what it's about, and where they can find it.
Okay. Yeah, the title is America's Mystic Solves Near-Death Riddle. I was able to work with 3 world authorities in near-death and UFO fields. The near-death was solved, and then there's a UFO component to that. And the book can be found online, or if you go to it'd be better to go to my website, as the Amazon takes 90%. And my website is Braxton at wix.com. And there's like Jeff said, with the first book about the life after death, there's tons of heavy information. You can't work with those world authorities without knowing your stuff. And I had a big near-death and remembered a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Jeff, your show, Jeff, you're doing good.
Well, thank you. I'm pushing forward, trying to get it as big as I can.
Yeah, and you're the right kind of host for this too.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, Eugene, let me go back on and go to the next person.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for popping in. It's good seeing you, bud.
Good seeing you, my man.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye-bye. All right, so let's try to get Bill. Don't report. Let's see if we can get Bill working here this time. Hopefully he's been able to troubleshoot his system and get it going here. I see that the audio is on. Can you hear me? We see him talking, but we don't hear him. Can you hear me? I guess he can't. That is okay. Oh, he wants. I can almost trouble. So what you can do is if you go into your Zoom, I think it's Zoom preferences, and I'm pretty sure you're allowed to test your microphone. And when you talk into the microphone, you should see I think there's a meter there you can see a meter and your voice working. Have you tried that? No. Okay. At least you're hearing me though, right? Yes, he is hearing me. Okay, so we're halfway there. So I'm going to mute you. You go to the Zoom preferences and check your mic status, because the mic is connected, because we see the little mic icon. It's just for some reason the mic is not picking up your voice, or whatever mic is connected to your Zoom is a completely different mic. So you got to make sure you've even chose the right microphone. All right, so try that, and we'll leave you right there. And we'll go to Liz. Oh.
Hi.
Hey, Liz. Where are you from?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Where am I from? I'm from Idaho.
Idaho. All right.
Yeah.
Is it cold out there?
Not yet, but we're supposed to get snow tomorrow, so.
Oh, wow.
It might be.
What part of Idaho?
Southeastern.
Southeastern. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say my geography of Idaho is pretty bad. All I know is Boise, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of the state from Boise. Yeah.
All right. Well, what's going on with you, supernaturally or paranormally?
Well, I really love your channel.
Thank you.
And I really love near-death experiences. So I'm listening to you every day.
Wow.
And
thank you.
it's kind of, I don't know, after the pandemic, I kind of needed some comfort, to think there was something on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really helped me to, to restore my faith in humanity, so to speak, and in the world. But, well, what I wanted to share was a spiritually transformative experience. I've never had an NDE,
Mm-hmm.
but so back in 1997, I belonged to a religion that placed a lot of pressure on women to have big families and lots of babies. And I didn't do pregnancy very well. I had a lot of complications and diabetes, and I ended up having to have all my kids cesarean. Mm. So I was pregnant with my third child in 97. I was just about ready to deliver, and it was a planned cesarean. And I was happy because I thought, 3 cesareans, I don't have to do this anymore. I'm done. I'm not going to have any more kids. Mm. And I went into the hospital the night before my surgery, and I was really excited because, this is the last time I didn't have to be pregnant again. It was because it was so difficult for me. And then the next day I had the baby and everything went well. And when they put the baby in my arms for the first time, a voice said to me in my ear, just as so clear, unmistakable. It said, "There's one more," which I interpreted to mean there's one more kid that I had to have. And that was not what I wanted to hear, because I was done, and I didn't want to have any more children. And but so anyway, so I knew that I had to have one more kid, and I waited, I procrastinated, and until finally 4 years later, I finally decided to get pregnant and have that kid. And I did. And just because I was told to have him, by this voice in my ear, which I can't deny, it was so real. Mm. And that child ended up being just a delightful, wonderful, wonderful person who is now 19 and off of college, And I was always really glad that I had him, even though I didn't want to get pregnant again. I was afraid to, and he just made my life really happy and wonderful as a great person. And but I wouldn't have had him. I wouldn't have had any more kids if I hadn't have had that voice in my ear telling me to have one.
What did the voice sound like? Did it sound like your voice or somebody else's voice?
It really didn't sound like anything. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. It just said, "There's one more." And I don't know. It's just like speaking right to my mind,
Were you shocked?
Yes, I was shocked because I was done. I was done. I wasn't going to have any more. And I was so glad that this is the last time I had to go through that,
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And I'm glad everything turned out amazing for you.
Yeah, it did. I've had other experiences where I've heard a voice in my head saying like, wake up, or, when I was sleeping in or something like that. But that experience with my baby was the most powerful spiritual experience I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you heard the voice the other times, was it something like it was saving your life or helping you in some sort of way?
Yeah, like I would have missed something really important, an important appointment or something else going on in my life that was important. And it wasn't like that the other time, but yeah, they really helped me a lot. So I think maybe there's some spirit guides that they're speaking to me and trying to help me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if it was a spirit guide or a guardian angel, actually, or something like that.
I think so. And I really want to believe that because, it helps me.
Yeah. It's nice to know someone's looking out for you.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. All right, Liz. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate you. I'm going to run to the next person.
Hey, thanks for letting me on.
Hey, thank you. All right.
Bye.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
All right, don't report, and we'll try Bill again. Hopefully we will win this time. I think I hear you.
You do?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
Victory is ours. We're connected.
This
finally.
is a true miracle.
Yes. Were you in the chat as William Ole?
I was.
You was, and I think you were saying you had an NDE, yes?
Yes, and also 2 UFO stories.
All right, let's do the NDE, and then maybe we'll see where we're at after that. I may have to have you come back next week for the UFOs.
Oh, come back. To be continued.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. So my NDE happened when I was 14, when I swallowed a bottle of pills because I was just done with this.
Right.
I was done with this pain of this existence. And when I took these pills, I was in my dad's lounge chair. In fact, I just got done eating dinner, and I put the plate down, and I felt my heartbeat beating kind of normal, ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then it started to slow up, and then it stopped. And when it stopped, I rose up out of my body, and like immediately it was, I felt better then than I ever have and ever since. But I found myself in the tunnel experience, and I felt like I was being drawn to these 3 lights. There was 3 lights ahead of me. There was one. They were all the same intensity, but the one in the middle was bigger than the ones on either side of it. And man, just the love, I don't even know how to describe that feeling. I've done a lot of things in this world, and nothing came close to that. And I was just really taken by that experience of that love, or whatever you want to call it. And I was going towards the lights, and then just like that, my dog at the time started to lick my face, and then I came back. That's why I say, it's not very exciting. I just got to the tunnel, saw the lights, and today was the first time that I said they were light beings. Because every time I thought about it or talked about it, I said I just saw 3 lights. So I don't know if they were beings or not, but maybe I just listened to your podcast enough that just slipped out of my mouth, like beings. But so when I came back from that, I got up out of the chair and I started to walk out to the kitchen, and like through the right side of my head, my brain, I got a distinct command that I was not to do that, take my life. And I can only tell you that it pissed me off. It pissed me off so much for so many years. There was just so much pain after that for decades. So, you know, as amazing as that was, you know, you would think, oh, you had that great experience. You should be happy. There's something to look forward to. But no, it was the total opposite. And I look back on it, and I have come to peace. I have come to peace with this experience of life. And the closest thing that I found to this peace is silence. You know, the silence of my being. You know, when I'm just dead still. And there's just that peace. There's just that everlasting peace that's there. So, you know, that pain was definitely a blessing, because it really brought me to my knees, to where I could surrender into, you know, that nothingness. So really, I mean, it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong experience for me, but it's a good one. It's a real good one. You know, I used to view this place as a curse. Now I just see it as a miracle.
Were you angry because you didn't want to be? Were you angry because you didn't like this place? Or were you angry because it was so awesome there that you wished you were back there?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, even heaven didn't want me.
When you saw the lights, were they any particular color or just kind of like a white or golden color?
Yeah, it was more like a white light. You know, and they were bright, and I had this sensation that I was, you know, way back here, and I was going towards the light. And I had no control over if I was going towards the light or not. You know, it was really like that moth to the flame thing. I mean, I was going there until my damn dog woke me up.
I wanted to say that's the first time I've ever heard a dog bringing somebody back.
Yeah, right.
Do you think the dog knew you were out of your body and was bringing you back, or just a coincidence that it was licking you?
Yeah, you know, that was my sense, that he knew, and he was just didn't want me to go.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, but that was my sense at the time.
How did you come to resolve this, that now you find that this life is a miracle?
Pain. Just through a lot of pain.
But what was the turning point?
The turning point was surrender. You know, was just to surrender into this thing we call life. You know, this separation, I guess, you know? The separation between me and it, so to speak, or me and me, you know, however you want to look at that. Mm-hmm. So it was only through the pain and through, I explain it this way, is that I grew up Catholic. So I have that Satan thing and God thing. And now I view it as, Satan really is kind of, I'm not going to say it's a good guy, but everything is all the same. Everything is all the same oneness. So it was that Satan, or that evilness, that just brought me to the point of my knees and surrender into nothingness. And it was in that nothingness that I found the joy, the peace, the eternal peace, as much as I can experience it here on this earth.
Are you still Catholic?
No.
Would you say that you're any religion at this point?
No religion.
No religion. Did you feel like it was more real over there than it is here?
Well, I was only there briefly, wherever there is, but yeah. I mean, the feeling, just that feeling, it's just that total freedom, that just total bliss, total love. I don't even, those words just don't even describe it.
Yeah.
It was just total freaking awesomeness.
What about your time over there? In your experience, did times not seem to exist, or did it seem like you were there for hours, even though you weren't gone that long?
No, it didn't seem like I was there long enough, which maybe that's what pissed me off too, because I wanted to be there. I mean, I wanted to end my life for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back to this, because I came back into the heaviness again,
Were you shocked were you shocked that you were still conscious after you had, taken the pills?
Totally, yeah. Yeah. I was totally fine.
Mm. All right. Well, besides being accepted now, how else have you changed?
Well, I was 14 at the time, and now I'm 58. So, I've had a lot of experience. But, so how did I change?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. It's just my level of appreciation for this, for the things in this, and just the glimpse of the oneness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much aware of that all the time. That everything is all the same thing. That's why I say, the God Satan thing, it really is the same thing. In different roles.
Do you still remember it now, today, as clear as it is the day that it happened?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to go.
So you're saying you're not afraid of dying?
No, heck no.
Did you get any abilities from this over your lifetime? Any clairvoyance or clairaudience or anything?
I don't think so, but my wife says yes.
What does she say?
What do you say?
What does she notice?
You can raise the energy and all the healing stuff that you can do, and you used to, when you were open to it, you got messages all the time.
Oh, I got into healing work, and I don't know, there's I can control this energy in my body. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's Kundalini. I don't know what it is. But it like starts at the base of my spine and, kind of comes up to my head and, all over my body. And if you'd look at me, you'd think I had goose pimples,
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know what it's for.
Hmm.
I used to get messages. That's right. One of the coolest messages I got as I was walking down the street. I lived in a country setting, and I was walking down the street, and I'm a contractor by profession. And I was walking down the road, and I was looking at the neighbor's house, and they had these homemade shutters, and I was thinking to myself, boy, I wouldn't have done it like that. I would have done it like this. And all of a sudden, through the right side of my head, just like, the message that I got when I came back from the near death, that same feeling. I got this, and it said, all there is love. And I and I stopped, and I turned, and I literally said, what?
Hmm.
And then it said again, all there is love. And I said, no, how can that be? I'm like having this conversation, on this country road.
Mm-hmm.
And it said the dumbest thing. It said, everything else is just covering that up. And I'm like, yeah, right. And I just went on about my walk. And it wasn't till decades later that it was like, oh yeah, wow, that's true. That really is true. All there is love. All there is love, and everything else really is not even covering up. It's just that you give your attention to other things. The play of the mind. You give your attention to the Satan, to the yapper in your head.
Right. It's like everything else is a distraction.
Everything else is a distraction. That's right. Yeah. And I believe that's why we're here, is to work through that. I think this is a good school. It's a great school for, disconnecting from the yapper, constant yapping.
Do you do meditation to help you with that?
I don't think I do meditation per se, but I just be quiet. Because it's in that quiet that I just find that peace.
Well, what I know of is that we supposedly think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So
wow.
If you can, and everybody does that, and it's probably very hard for everybody. Your brain is, I think, 95% of your, well, not your brain, but 95% of probably your consciousness is on autopilot, yapping all the time. So for our conscious mind to take over in the present and just kind of try to quiet that and even quiet the body, I think that's kind of what you're saying. If you can do that, that's healing.
It's a practice for sure. It takes something. When I first started to try to be quiet, I would do it while I was driving. And I would try to go from one telephone pole to the next telephone pole. And you can see them, right? Like I would just try to not think from one telephone pole to the next. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It'd be like, okay, nothing, quiet. I'm doing it in my head, It's like, no, that doesn't count. Then I get to the next telephone pole and try to be quiet. But yeah, so it's been a process. Definitely been a process.
What do you think inspires you about your experience?
Oh. Just how powerful that love is, the freedom. That's what inspires me the most. And you know, I got that message that I was not to take my life. You know, and it wasn't even in words. It was just like, you know, it just felt like something came in through the right side of my head, and just there was just a knowing. And it was just like, oh shit. But, you know, through all the years of drug abuse and alcoholism and, you know, eating poorly, you know, I was trying to off myself, if you will, you know. And
that was before or after?
After.
Oh.
After, like I said, you know, after that happened, it was like decades of misery. You know, alcoholism, drug addiction.
Well, it's great that you resolved that.
I agree. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Bill, for sharing your experience with us.
You're welcome.
I'm speaking for everybody, but I'm sure we all appreciate that, because that's what, you know, the most of the people come for, is to hear experiences like that. So it was great that you were willing to step up and share it with us this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, man, for what you do, because you know, what you do definitely helps me.
Oh, good.
You know, because
I'm curious. I've never asked anybody this, but after seeing the podcast on the channel, and even being here tonight, did it make you feel comfortable that you are now willing to share? Because I guess you haven't shared this publicly before like this, right?
Oh, no, not like this, no. But no, I mean, I tell people.
Right.
You know, and you know, especially when, you know, when somebody's about to lose someone, or they lose someone, you know, to death or another life, you know, I just share. And I say, you know, when I was 14, I swallowed a bunch of pills, and, you know, my heart stopped, and I'm telling you, there's something there, something amazing there. You don't have to worry.
Well, I mean, that's great that you do that.
It feels like the thing to do, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're helping all of us by sharing.
Well, thank you. And thank you for doing what you do. Because like I say, you know, I mean, I don't have other people to talk to about this, you know, that I know of.
Right. Well, I did set up for everybody this thing called Discord, which is anybody can join. It is free. There's a link in the description on this video, and there's probably about 50 people there right now, and it's where people can either type and chat with each other, voice chat, video chat, whatever you guys want to do. And so if you want to, I'm hoping that, you know, more like-minded people, if they want to meet other like-minded people, there's a place to do that, because you've all been here, you know.
Yeah, I in my frantic pace trying to get this Zoom thing going, I joined that.
Oh, okay.
And I did chat with a couple of people so far. So yeah, it's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you know, I mean, the way it is now, like after this, like when this experience was new, it really would have been awesome and helpful if I would have had somebody to talk to. But then again, you know, that just wasn't in my path, because it just, you know, the pain took me to a new level.
And I'm glad that and now that you mentioned it, it just reminded me that there is a group out there. I don't remember the name, but there's a group, and it's not INs or NDERF. There's a group out there that actually helps people that are struggling with their NDE. And I'm going to be having somebody on as a guest soon, within a week or two, I believe, from that group.
No, that's sweet.
It's going to be fascinating to talk to her, and hopefully, other NDE people that watch it and need help, they will find a resource to help them. Because there are some of the guests that have been on are still, in my opinion, struggling from their NDE, especially the ones that are more fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Totally get it. Kind of like a 12-step for an NDE. That's neat.
Yeah. All right, Bill. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad that we were able to get this through because you gave us a great experience, and I wish you the best, and I hope you come back again.
Cool. I will. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it. You have a good night. Take care.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, that was a treat for you guys tonight. That was great that he shared with us. Let's get in the next person. And I'm going to do my last calls. It's already 9 o'clock, 9:01, so it's already after my time. So I'm doing my last calls if anybody wants to share. And for somebody gave me a super tip or a super thank you. I appreciate that very much for that. Whoever did that earlier. I don't remember the name. I saw it, but I couldn't interrupt somebody talking to say thank you. But I want to say thank you now. And for all the times anybody who's ever given me a tip, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Tisha Griffith, thank you very much. And we lost whoever that was. So we'll go to Galaxy S8. It sounds familiar. Sometimes I can remember these screen names. And we'll see. And maybe if I scroll back over here, I can find out. But I thought there was another person too. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Galaxy S8 is almost there. Ask to unmute. Ask to start video. It seemed like it was there. There you are. Hello. I see you. I just don't hear you yet. Maybe it'll turn up. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I got you.
Oh my goodness. I can hear you.
Great. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Teresa and I'm from Niles, Michigan.
Oh, great. Great to have you. I don't think you've been on before, have you?
No.
Well, it's great to have you. What's going on in Michigan? Is it cold up there?
Not really. Not in southern Michigan. Not too bad.
Wow. I guess give it
50s,
a little time.
Yeah, low 60s.
Low 60s? That sounds like Texas.
Yeah.
I guess
it's
give it
kind of like different.
Give it a couple
than
weeks.
when I was growing up.
It's different.
Yeah, give it a couple weeks.
So
days.
Are you saying that you think global warming is real and it's changing since you were younger?
Yes. Yeah, I believe in global warming.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Definitely. And and cycles of the weather. So it could just be, or part of it, just a cycle that it's going through, but we don't have a lot of snow like when I was young.
That's interesting. All right. Well, what's going on with you paranormally or supernaturally, or what do you have to share?
I know it's like Paranormal Anonymous. So I'll just tell you, like, I've had some paranormal things in my life, not a lot, but maybe more than some people. My first paranormal experience, I had actually an out-of-body experience. And this was probably in 1979, and I was in 8th grade in school. And what I did was I went to bed at night, and when I was sleeping, I heard this creaky noise. And it made me open my eyes, and I was coming through the roof of my bedroom, and I could just see all through the roof. And then I got to the ceiling part and I log rolled so I could see down beneath me, and I saw this scene playing out. Well, then I fell, and I fell into my body, and I was thinking in my mind, what am I doing? And I was hanging up these people's clothes, and then my sister's boyfriend was sitting on the foot of my bed, and he was blocking me. So I was struggling, and I thought, why am I struggling? And he was just blocking me. And I looked behind me, and there were these two girls who I'd never seen before. And I thought, why are these girls in my bedroom, and why am I hanging their clothes in the closet? And then my sister's boyfriend said, hey, are you going skating tonight? I already saw people lined up for skating. And I said, already, it's only 6:30. And that was the end of it. But then maybe a few weeks or a month later, the whole scene played out, and I had total recall of it. And I remember the girls' faces looked kind of shocked when they were looking at me in the whole out of body thing. And it was because I had total recall, and I was looking at them shocked, actually, like I just remembered something. So instead of saying, it's only 6:30, after he asked me if I was going skating, I just walked out of the bedroom, and I walked into the dining room to look at the clock, and it was 6:30.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
so that was totally verifiable to me, because I remembered the girls, one had red hair, one had black hair. So so that was the first thing that opened me up to paranormal.
Yeah, it was like
in my life.
It was a combination of like seeing the future and an OBE at the same time.
Yeah, like my out of body experience, I went into the future, and then I changed it because I didn't say it was 6:30.
Oh yeah, that's true. I always wonder about that. And because so many people will talk about seeing the future, and I've asked from time to time, do you think the future's already played out? But apparently on your end it wasn't, because you changed it.
I changed it. It was 6:30, but I didn't say it because I knew what I was going to say next. So I just shut up. I walked out.
Since you experienced the future like that, do you think then that everything is, already set in stone, and, whatever has happened is meant to happen?
I believe in free will. Really, I think there's timelines out there, but they can change. You can change your timeline. You can change the future. I think there's multiple timelines. I really do.
Yeah, maybe even like like the multiverse, like multiple, multiverse. Multiverse, but different, the same thing happening in different universes, but with different outcomes.
Right. Or maybe like in a parallel dimension, I'm not alive,
Right. Yeah. Like a parallel universe. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, parallel universe. Different dimensions.
Sometimes things, I was going to say, sometimes things are happening and I made a choice to do A or B, and basically, and I sometimes wonder, well, I wonder if there's a parallel universe somewhere where I chose B instead of A, and that's what played out in that universe.
Oh, I think most likely. I'm wearing my pajamas, by the way. Sorry, everybody.
Well, that's okay. I couldn't tell. So do you listen a lot at night before you go to sleep?
I do. I listen to different channels. I've listened to your channel a lot, but I haven't actually listened to this. Probably because I work on weekends, and today I just happen to not be working.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you made it.
But I only work till 7 at night. So Yeah, I usually come home and I unwind a little bit, so I listen a little later.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all over YouTube, but this is fun.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you made it. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you for sharing, and maybe you can come back next week and share another story.
Oh, I have stories. I do. Thanks.
Okay. And someone was saying that your pajamas are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Walmart.
And, all right. Well, thanks for joining us, and you have a great evening.
It was fun. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So you can see that she said it was fun. So for you guys next time, hopefully that will inspire you that she had fun. And you'll want to come back and join us next week. And on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you guys so much for being with me. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you will enjoy the NDE I have ready for you tomorrow. And hopefully I will see you guys back with me live next Saturday, joining me.